I almost wasn't going to do this. I was like, man, I can't not plant my garlic. I mean, after all these years, and I think I had close to 1,000 bulbs this year. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I apologize, I know it's been a while. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but we're gonna get back into it. And today, we're not doing a fishing video, we're doing some garlic planting. It's the end of October. It's beautiful out, like the end of October, the 29th of October. Beautiful out. Definitely time to get this garlic in the ground. Perfect weather, we got some rain coming up. Don't wanna wait any longer. So that's what we're getting after today. So, all of this garlic you see here came out of this garden, in August. I think I harvested it all. All of it except for this biggest one. I had a friend give me this to plant this year. But all three of these different hardneck varieties and my soft neck over here, I'm gonna bring you guys in closer so you can take a look at it. So, all this hardneck, these are all different varieties. I'm not even sure, I gotta be honest with you. The only one I can say for sure is this one. I ordered this from, I don't know if you've watched his channel, it's called M.I. Gardener, Michigan Gardener. I ordered this from him last year. This is his variety of music. And I put that in the ground last fall. This a friend gave to me 2 years ago, gave me 4 cloves of this. And over the last 2 years, I've gotten it up to that amount. She also gave me, 10, maybe 10 bulbs of this 2 years ago, and that's the result of that. And then, during that virus, when I first time I ever planted garlic, I just planted store-bought soft neck garlic, not knowing that, you know, soft neck really isn't a northern climate. We're in zone 4 or 5-ish up here in northern Michigan. And I just threw some soft neck store-bought garlic left over that I had that fall in the ground, and this is 5 generations or 6 generations on now. I don't even know. I've already given away hundreds of these this year. They clearly don't get super huge. I've separated these ones out. These are the bigger ones that I'll take from that I was able to find. And this is all just eat and give away. And like I said, I've already given away hundreds this fall. I've given away some of the smaller hardneck that I had as well. But you know, you try and you want to keep the best of the best to replant. Not even to eat yourself, you know. It's all about replanting and hopefully getting the best genetics you can out of your garlic that you have. And like I said, you know, soft neck really isn't a northern thing, but I've gotten it to grow and it's adapted to my garden and my climate here in zone 4 to 5. It depends on the map. I'm right on the border. I'm right on the border of what zone. So I don't even know for sure. Like I said, you know, I've been doing this since 2020. The fall of 2020 was my first crop of garlic that went in the ground, and this is all since then, except for this one big one that my friend gave me that I'm gonna put in. I don't even know what. I'm sure that's a music. I don't think that's an elephant garlic. Could be. Put that in. But when I plant them all. I know where they are. I separate them all and mark them. So genetically, you just want to keep track of what's doing good and what isn't, and yeah. So if you've been around the channel for the last 5 months since I started it, you saw I just fished my butt off this spring and summer. It's all I did was fish, tournament fish, bass fish, and I completely neglected my garden. I did not garden this year at all. The only thing I gardened was my garlic. The only thing I grew was my garlic. And that didn't even do that well this year because I didn't even fertilize it one time over the season. I think I watered it once and I just let it go. And my garden really shows. This is 1 year of not maintaining the garden and letting it go. Like last summer, this was all garden. And this is how quick the weeds and everything, this was all garden as well. This is where the garlic was, and I harvested it this late summer, and then I spent the last few days reclaiming this section and getting and weeding and getting everything out of here to replant the garlic. So I did, never really done it like that. Like, these are kind of slightly raised beds. I don't know. Usually I plant them right down near the ground, you know, just a couple inches up. These are elevated a little bit more. And I don't have a rototiller or anything. I do this all by shovel and by hand. I prefer it that way rather than mixing all the weeds down in the ground. I'll come through here and hoe all these weeds off, skim it, rake it, garden rake it, and then I'll hand turn it over the whole thing with a spade shovel. So, planting garlic, let's get at it. Also this year, what I don't have is chickens. The last of my chickens, my rooster died, I'm gonna say of natural causes. He was just dead in the coop one day, late winter, early spring. And as soon as he died, within 2 or 3 days, all the hens were killed off by something. Raccoon, skunk, I'm not sure, in the coop. It tells you how much that rooster was fighting and keeping them alive, because as soon as he died, they all went. So that being said, that's usually what I would always use to start my garlic was the chicken manure, the chicken poop and their bedding, the straw and hay I'd mix in over there. Whenever I plant my garlic, that'd be my top dressing. There is a little bit in there I'm gonna try and mix in with it. So I went and bought some, I usually don't really add store-bought fertilizer, I just use the chicken manure. But I went and bought some blood meal and some bone meal. Really, blood meal is really high in nitrogen. What is this? This is a 1200. So garlic really likes nitrogen, the bulbs do. And then this bone meal is bigger blooms and roots for bulbs. So whatever, I don't know. I don't think I can really hurt it. And it definitely needs help. I didn't fertilize, like I said, at all this summer. So yeah, got one of my 1911s today. Always carrying, even here at home on the homestead. I almost wasn't gonna do this. I was like, man, I can't not plant my garlic. I mean, after all these years, and I think I had close to 1,000 bulbs this year, and most of it was just, I mean, all this. And none of this like makes the grade, is what I would say, making the grade for replanting. And that happens, you know, you always end up with a bunch that doesn't meet the standard. You only want the biggest and best, especially with the soft neck. You know, you're not getting big bulbs like you are with the hard neck out of the soft neck. I'm not anyways, at least here in my zone. All right, 3 beds. Hope I got enough room. I might have too much garlic. I'm not gonna plant a whole lot of this. I'm only gonna take the biggest cloves off of these ones. And I want to transition into hardneck, really developing my hardneck lines, getting good numbers of those, and kind of getting away from the soft neck. I will, however, continue just to grow some of it for just to keep those genetics going, because I've had them, what, 5 years now, 6 years. So genetically, they grow well here. They know this dirt and this climate. So I don't want to just bail on those, but I am definitely transitioning towards the hard neck, which is more of a northern garlic. So, all right, let's amend this soil, try and get some fertilizer out of the chicken coop if we can. This thing is pretty nasty. There's gonna be full of feathers, but better than nothing. Alright, I got a good little load of chicken manure here. Tons of feathers. That won't hurt anything. This stuff powdered. It is broken down because we still had snow on the ground from winter when the last of my chickens died. So this fertilizer, this has been breaking down in there for a while. That's all right. It's not gonna burn the bulbs. It's definitely composted. Honestly, this is another reason I changed the channel from Veteran Angler to Veteran Outdoors. Get you guys turned up. I quit doing, I was so focused on fishing and tournament fishing, I just quit doing all this other stuff that I love to do. And I really wanted this channel to be a part of my life and part of my, my normal routine. And I just thought changing it over to an outdoor channel rather than a specifically just a fishing channel. And then I can capture and post doing this stuff that I love doing as well as fishing. And I went so OCD, ADD, crazy on the fishing that I couldn't even look at a fishing pole this fall. I didn't, I know I posted a video like a month ago about salmon fishing and steelhead fishing and American nymphing. And I haven't fished since then. Oh my gosh. I went in way too hard and burnt myself out. Like, totally burnt myself out in a bad way. Yeah, pace myself and not and not give up doing all the other stuff that I love to do, like garden. And I do have some ideas for some cool new videos, some different stuff. For the outdoor version of this channel. No. Blood meal, how much does this say? 1 pound per 100 square feet. And this is 3 pounds. Yeah, 100 square feet, 10 by 10. Yeah. I'm not gonna get too worried about it. Fortunately, I did have that chicken manure, and that's gonna add a lot of nitrogen. So I'm not terribly worried about how much of this. I bought this, honestly, because I thought I wasn't gonna have any chicken manure. It's been so long since they were in there. And that stuff might be pretty broke down, so. And like I said, this soil was not amended at all last year, or this summer. Last fall when I planted the garlic, I added chicken manure, but all summer long, 0 fertilizer. Spring, summer, this year, nothing. So this soil is probably fairly depleted. It has not been amended. That being said, I don't want to add so much stuff that I end up burning the bulbs. I don't even know if you can. I mean, yeah, you could add too much, but this is what? Organic. I don't know, it's not a chemical in that sense it's going to burn them, I don't think. But there is such thing as too much of a good thing. NPK in this is 4-12-0. And yeah. I'm gonna rake this all in also, like I did with the chicken manure. I wanted to put it on first before I put my rows of garlic in, so I don't accidentally overdo it on some individual cloves. So like I said, I keep it all separate as I plant it so I know what's what. So first I'm gonna do this one big one that my friend gave me. And I'll mark it all with, I use a lot of bamboo for marking my garden and stuff. Bamboo stakes, so I'll put stakes, you'll see, in between each. Yeah, and that's why, look at the size of that guy. That's why I want to switch over to hardneck. It's the, got individual cloves bigger than entire soft neck bulbs, which is how it is, whatever. Alright, so only got 6 cloves off that one bulb, but when they're that big, who cares? I bury them just to the tip, is sticking at the top of the dirt, and 4 or 5 inches. And like I said, I mark them so I know now that's that one bulb that my friend gave me. And I go get the next batch. And 4 off that one. Beautiful. And it drives my wife nuts. She wants to use all this good garlic for cooking and eating, and I give her what she's allowed to, I give her this little soft neck that's a pain in the butt, but you know, I'm really genetically trying to, even with the soft neck, I've been trying to grow a bigger, I only plant the biggest of the biggest cloves off each one, so most of them don't even make the cut, and I'm trying to develop a bigger line of soft neck, or get a, you know, genetically to get the best quality to grow, but northern Michigan can only do so much with, you know, work with the climate you got. And hence switching over kind of to hardneck. That is a huge clove. What's that? 3 cloves on it. That one did. 2 huge ones, and it's crazy. And this stuff, you can see it all has a reddish skin color to it. So, and even this stuff, this is the, like I said, the MI Michigan Gardener variety, and it's got a red, well, it all does. It's all similar varieties, I think, of it's just, I think it's all music variety, just from different producers. All right, so that was all of that one. Dang, that's a big clove. then I'll mark this one. So now I know my first variety went to there, second variety started here, and it went down this row, and it started the next row and went to here. Now, go get my third variety. So, this will be the music from M.I. Gardner. And when this showed up, I was a little surprised because it was, I ordered this, it was a little smaller. Well, that one's teeny, I won't even plant that. So like I said, I only plant the biggest and best. But compared to like this variety, which is music also, this M.I. Gardner variety came and it was a little small. Not terrible, but I was slightly disappointed. However, it's still better, bigger and better than the soft neck. And I'm not gonna plant all these that I'm taking off and throwing in here, because some of them are just, you know, you only want, for your seed crop, you only want the biggest and the best, right? Genetically. And some of these cloves are less than ideal. There we go. And like I said, I'm not going to plant all of these. Some of them are pretty small. That one, not worth it. I don't like planting them at the end. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't planting them all, just the best of the best, and those ones are a little small. On to the next variety. These ones have way more cloves in there. A lot of them are really small. I'm not even gonna put them in the bag. While they're opening half of them, these will just be eaters. Or give them away. I hook up my friends and everybody with a lot of garlic usually. I'm gonna get way less of these ones than I thought. Honestly, they are not as good a quality. Last one of these, and then got the soft neck. These ones, I almost thinking about not replanting any of these because kind of disappointing. You know, definitely bigger than soft neck, but that's all I got out of that whole thing, which all those bulbs, a lot of bed space left. Maybe I'm not gonna have as much garlic this year. Oh well. You know, I keep saying genetically I'm trying to produce bigger garlic, and you produce bigger garlic by only planting the biggest of bulbs or cloves. All right, that's the last one of those. So we got a bed and a half of hardneck. I was hoping for 2 whole beds, but I just don't like a lot of them, and I'm not gonna put them in the ground if they don't make the grade. So, a ton of soft neck now, but like I said, I don't plan on doing as much soft neck this year. The only reason I'm doing any is just to keep my genetic line going that I've had for 5 or 6 generations of planting generations, not my generations. Like I said, I already sorted this out. This is the stuff that I feel like maybe I can get some big cloves off of. This stuff, just I'll eat or give away. And at this point, I'm not worried about, quantity. I'm worried about quality. If I don't fill all 3 beds, then I don't fill all 3 beds. But for the soft neck, definitely only the best of the best. Which I got to retrain my mind because I'm already used to those bigger hard neck cloves and bulbs, and I got to remember this is a lot smaller. And like I said, I didn't take care of the garlic this summer in the garden, and the quality, it's smaller as it is just because of that. So it's gonna be really hard. I'm gonna have to be less picky if I want to plant any of this soft neck. Generally, I can just look at the outside and see if there's one that's maybe gonna make the cut. Like I said, I can't be nearly as picky with this soft neck. But dang, I'm only gonna end up with 2 beds of garlic. Cause I'm really, like, past years I was planting all this. Like, this whole area was a solid bed essentially. And that's why I ended up, like I said, I've already given away hundreds of these ones that I knew didn't make the grade, didn't make the cut this year. But I've always had just a ton, but a lot of it is really small and not great. Not looking too good. All right. Definitely not enough. Didn't make the cut. Maybe I can dig through here and find some. Man, maybe I need to go back through the hard neck and finish out that second. Actually finish out the whole second bed with hard neck and just do the 3rd bed with the soft neck, because I'm not getting any kind of good. Yeah. I mean, and I've got clearly tons of garlic. But, and I know I keep saying it, genetically I'm trying to produce a larger garlic, higher quality. And the way to do that is be selective in your planting. Back through this hard neck. And the whole point generally of going back through this and getting more to plant, I figure, is there'll just be more to eat next year. Even if this stuff doesn't make the grade for replanting next year, I'll have some extra to give away and to eat. Alright, so hopefully I can finish this row out with the hard neck then. Or this bed. And then that'll be all soft neck. I've got it, I might as well plant it. Got to plan on losses too, Stuff will happen. Deer will walk through here. I'm gonna re-fence this whole little area just to make sure, because I do get a lot of deer walking through here. And some will die off, and I'll go fishing and not water it. Who knows? So better to have extra, even if it's not the best quality. Clearly, I'm trying to talk myself into this, all right? Planting this lower quality, smaller cloves. But I got people that depend on my garlic every year. No, not really. I got real unchoosy real quick. Whatever. It all makes the grade now. After all that crap. No, that talk. No, but I realized, you know, if I only plant so much and only plant the best, then I'll have way less to give away next year, and that's what I give away is all the stuff that's not that great. And that's the stuff that we personally eat, is the stuff that's not great. That you know, like I said, doesn't make the cut for planting. So whatever, you gotta have a crop. You gotta have numbers just to give away and eat yourself. That's what I'm telling myself anyways at this point. All right, well, that's it for putting the garlic in the ground. Now I'm gonna water it in. Well, I gotta cover it all. Then I'm gonna water it in, and then I was gonna go buy straw to put over it, but I still got some crappy, really old hay in the barn. That'll work fine. I'm gonna go throw that on it. Now water. I like to water it in twice. I water it in with just the garlic and the dirt, help break down and get those fertilizers in the chicken manure breaking down and down in there. And then when I put the hay or straw on, I water it in again, and that helps hold the straw in place. And yeah, that's why I do it twice. I just want to give it a head start. All right, now to the barn, get some nasty old hay. This hay has been in my barn for at least 11 years minimum that I can think of. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm also just gonna, like I said earlier, just fence in this little area with the garlic. Otherwise the deer, I took my main fence down trying to reclaim my garden here. The deer will trample. I'm not worried about them eating it or anything, but they're all over in here. They'll trample this down. So yeah, I'll put up a little fencing. I use the heck out of these bamboo poles in my garden, always, for everything. I'd get some new bigger ones. And I wouldn't necessarily be worried about doing this, but I did. I took my perimeter fence down, just starting to weed and everything, the fence line. So I probably won't finish that before next spring. So I gotta have something to keep the deer off this. I'm all fishy. That's it. Just gonna wrap it up for today. Not exactly a whole lot of fishing in this video, or at all. But that was why I changed the channel, because I wanted to do this kind of stuff with you guys, show you how I grow my garlic. And more outdoorsy type stuff, which we're gonna be doing. So hopefully you got something from it. Maybe you didn't. I know I started off saying only take the, you know, the best cloves and plant the biggest and the best for genetics, and by the end I was planting everything just because I didn't have, take the biggest and the best, you run out real quick. So whatever, I have garlic. I'll have garlic. But anyways, thanks for watching. You know, I appreciate your time. Until next time, catch you mo fishies later. Oh, you want to see something fun, something cool that I found in the barn while I was shoveling this hay? You guys remember these things? I wasn't shoveling it. I was pitchforking the hay. Like garbage pail kids. It's a garbage pail kid card. Weird. It was in the hay in the barn. I don't know.